Okay, this is Andrea, and I'm doing a feedback video with regards to the resonant agreement principle videos that were done with me and Andrew. The last videos that were done were basically in relation to the Bernard discussing with Andrew that he has to basically make a decision about what he's going to do, and an overall discussion about making a decision with regards to where you're going to place yourself in this world, where are you most effective, and what are you actually going to participate in versus just being an observer in your life. And it was after this interview that Andrew made the decision that he's going to go back to Canada in a year's time, and that he feels like he will be more effective going back there than staying here at the farm. So then we made the decision to end the agreement, basically because initially after he made that decision we had agreed that we would continue with the agreement for a year until he leaves. And that evening I said to him, look, I don't think I can actually do that, because for a year it might be fine, or we might start drifting apart, or after a year you would have to let the person go and it might be more difficult than what it is now. And he agreed, and he said, okay, we'll discuss it the next day. And then the next day we discussed it, but we said, look, there's no point in us both being here for a year. We do enjoy each other's company. There are things that we enjoy participating with each other. So there's actually no point in us ending the agreement. And then again that evening he said to me, look, perhaps we should end the agreement, because he looked at all the points and he just saw that it would be best. I'm not sure which points he considered, what it is that he looked at, but he informed me of the basic point, which is that he saw it would be better for us to end the agreement now. So it was suggested to me and to him to do feedback videos with regards to the decision that was made, the ending of the agreement, and my experience within this. Now, from the beginning, I did not want the agreement to end, obviously. If you listen to the resonant agreement videos that were done with us, a point started coming up where our resonances were reacting to each other, we were reacting to each other, and we had to get to a point where, and this is where the interviews obviously assisted immensely, was to show each person, look, where are you giving into your resonant possessions, where are you participating in, where both of us are now reacting to each other resonantly, because each one of us was, instead of stopping the resonant possession as happened, we were both participating. So it came down to the point of us individually making a decision to stop participating in our resonances. You know, once you identify what they are, which is what we did within the resonant agreement interviews, you are in a position, not easy, but you are in a position to stop. It might happen a few times where you get caught up in the same point. You have to stop, breathe, use the breath, stop, understand what principle you are living, what decision you have made, and live that. So I had made the decision that I wanted the agreement to continue because I saw that there was value within the agreement. You know, the experience with regards to that was not the same. And we continued having the interviews with the resonances and with Bernard, and basically he started pushing the point of, look, it all comes down to one point, your starting point. If you experience your resonances building up again, that is because your starting point has not been clear. So if you have a back door, which is, I don't think I should be here, I can't do this, or whatever it is, that starting point is always going to be running in the background, and then it doesn't matter what you do after that, because whatever you do is always, it's got the actual starting point behind it, and eventually your resonance is built up again, and then a week later or 2 weeks later there are problems within the agreement. So let me give you feedback as to what my actual experience is. I'm experiencing 2 points with regards to the ending of the agreement. The one is that it is this agreement, because I went into the agreement with Andrew knowing that there's a 50-50% chance that the agreement will last or it won't, because before we went into the agreement we had a discussion where Andrew said he has never actually been able to stay in an agreement because of various points, and he's finding that point very difficult. Therefore, within this agreement he will work with those points, but we don't actually know. And I was aware of that point, especially when 2 weeks within our agreement he started discussing the same things with me, that he was having thoughts about ending the agreement and that he didn't think it was going to work. So from there it escalated, and I therefore now understand that within that time the signs were there that if you go into an agreement with somebody who's not walking the same principle as you, that it is almost impossible, difficult to maintain your principle of what it is that you are walking if the other person is not walking the same point. And therefore I'm standing at the point of my experiences that it has assisted me, because through all my agreements I've had to face my own design. I've had to face points that I had already created, and I was walking through the consequences of what I had already created. And in every agreement I look back and observe, who was I within the agreement, what did I allow, and then self-correct, so that in the next agreement, if there is another agreement, you can actually walk the changes or see, oh, I didn't do my self-forgiveness and my stopping effectively. Here are the points coming up again. I'm again resonantly reacting the same way. Oh, I have to stop, do my self-forgiveness, look at the point, let go, walk again and again and again, self-correcting as you go along. That is the point of these agreements, and the interviews that we've had is to assist you in seeing the points, stopping, changing. Not necessarily easy, but it's there for you to work with. And I've realized now again that what I was walking was a specific understanding of what I would like from an agreement, and yet if the other person's starting point is I actually want to get out of the agreement, and you try and hold on to that from a perspective of wanting to fix the other person, or change the other person, or force the issue, it's not going to work. So what I did realize is it is very important that there is communication throughout the agreement with regards to what do you stand for within this agreement? What do we agree upon that we are developing within this agreement? And if the one person says, I would like to experience this and develop this as an agreement, and the other person says, no, I actually don't want that, you have to, from my experience that I'm speaking about now, be okay to walk away, because it's assisting you to stand up for that which you stand for within self-support. And again, obviously there are all the points that you have to consider, because the agreement assisted me to see where am I still giving into anger and all those points and resistances. It allowed me to push through many resistances.